Hello, Libra. This is your tarot reading for December 2016. So let's get started. I'm shuffling the cards for just a few seconds. They've already been pre-shuffled and cleared. I saw a card flip over. Which was it? It was a Four of Wands. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Time to cut the cards. Okay. All right, Libra. Your first card, Temperance. Balance, not just balance in real life, but balance with emotions. And not when I say real life, I'm also talking about being, you might be giving up drugs or alcohol or smoking. You're trying to find that inner balance and stability. Many times our emotions are fed by the ego and addiction. And temperance is about, okay, now we're trying to holistically get ourselves together. The next card is the Hangman in reverse. And as I've explained so many times, this is about being in a very difficult position because he's hanging upside down. And it's about going through trials or making an emotional sacrifice and having to give something up in order for the larger good. Okay? When this is in reverse, maybe this situation is not so difficult, but it can also indicate maybe also a bit of selfishness here, because maybe we're not willing to, maybe we just can't handle this difficult situation and we're still tied to the ego here. Okay, notice this pentacles here in the background. So when this Hangman is in reverse, it kind of means, because there's a purpose in being in this difficult position and going through trials and sacrifice. But when it's reversed, it can mean that maybe the trials and difficulties are not so difficult in a more positive light. But we are trying to sort of get out of this difficult situation. But note that sometimes it's good to go through difficult situations because we need to make a sacrifice, especially, for instance, going back to this Temperance, because now we have two major arcana. Let's say that someone or you are giving up drugs or alcohol or trying to get yourself together, right? This Hangman in reverse is sort of saying, you're going to still have some difficulties here. Maybe it's still going to be difficult to find that balance. It's going to be a difficult road. Doesn't mean it can't be done. And so the bigger significance for a relationship is that, yes, maybe you and this person, maybe you got back together with someone, maybe you and this other person or partner are trying to work things out, but this Hangman is saying, there's still some difficulties that you two are still trying to learn how to handle. So far you have two very strong cards right out of the gate. This third card is a King of Cups. Now, kings have authority, they have mastery, they make decisions. This is about, note how you still have the cups and temperance. So now we're trying to get control over our emotions and maybe some of those negative aspects of our ego that's getting in the way of us mastering our emotions, opening up, being available emotionally. And that's usually what I'm looking at whenever the cups come up, especially a King of Cups. Okay? Giving, emotionally, receiving emotionally, expressing yourself emotionally, and doing it in a way that's decisive and productive, which is what kings are all about. So far, what I'm seeing here from the past influence is really positive, because it seems like, Libras, you're taking on a journey in a relationship where you and another person are trying to just really find the balance and learning how to really find that emotional sweet spot to where you can have a nurturing, loving, unconditional relationship. Now we're heading into the present. This King of Wands is reversed. And when kings are reversed, the king can use his authority in the wrong way. Once again, this is about ego, going on a power trip. Wands are about creativity, passion, direction. So when that fire energy gets out of control and it is reversed, what we're looking at here are dealing with holding back your emotions and holding back your feelings and your hurt feelings and your personal will and wanting to have your way, and it's about determination. And, so when that is in reverse, you go on a power trip, you get jealous, you get angry, and maybe some of those things are still existing, which is why this hangman is in reverse as well. In the center of your spread, you're going to have a 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups, it's the wish card, wishes come true. But also it is about contentment and happiness. And so when it's reversed, maybe we're getting in our own way, or someone is getting in their own way. Maybe we're dealing with someone else whose ego is out of control. But what I'm seeing here is that, yes, we also want happiness and contentment and satisfaction. Okay? When this is in reverse, we're looking at, I'm not quite happy yet. I'm not getting what I want. And it also can be a little bit of selfishness here. And what I'm picking up also is taking emotional risks that we're not willing to give emotionally. Someone's not willing to give themselves emotionally because they're still looking out for what they want first, instead of it being a mutual thing where two people give and take equally. Okay? The next card, I have the Justice card in reverse. And this is our card, Libra, because look at the scales and look at the sword. Okay? So when this is reversed, our energy is reversed. Our natural I'm a Libra, so that's why I just blurted out we. Our natural disposition, Libra, is to always find equality and balance and fairness. We're the people who don't like conflict. We do not like things out of balance. But there seems to be, because this King of Wands is out of whack, it just seems like this is also reversing the things that should be fair. And sometimes when it's reversed, it can mean someone being very harsh, very condemning, very judgmental. And so those are the things that, once again, I think are contributing to the reasons why the hangman is in reverse. There's still some issues, obviously, from these 3 cards that need to be worked out. Next card, heading into the future, we have a Knight of Cups. And so what I'm seeing here, and knights take action, they're devoted, they're committed, they go to war, they attack problems and conflicts. This Knight of Cups indicates an important shift to where someone's not focused on ego and what they want, they're opening themselves up emotionally. This Knight of Cups is intuitive. He acts on his intuition. And because knights do fight for a cause, there's a strong sense of commitment with all the knights. So when we see the cups, when we see this water energy, we see the emotion, we see a shift to where there's more of an emotional commitment instead of holding back, which is what I'm seeing in the center of the card. I now have a Nine of Wands reversed. That is interesting because Nine of Wands, it's all about the original intent of the card when it's held upright. The original intent of the Nine of Wands, it's about things being delayed, problems getting in the way to where we're like, oh, is something going wrong here? I'm going to just be defensive about it. You see this woman with her wand in her hand with the other 8 wands being very defensive. She's anticipating trouble. When this is in reverse, it's almost as if you're putting the wand down. Someone's putting the wand down, and maybe someone's not being so defensive. I'm not assuming that this is even you. It could be someone that you are attached to who has this wand's energy. Okay? There's no defensiveness about someone getting ready to hurt you, or things going wrong, but the biggest message is Nine of Wands traditionally, when it's upright, is about someone anticipating being hurt, and so therefore they take up the wand. They're getting prepared for things to go wrong. And so when it's reversed, a lot of that energy might be diminished, that someone is going to try to trust. That's the biggest thing I'm picking up here. Someone is willing to let their guard down and trust. Maybe it's you, maybe it's the other person. And then the last card is the moon. And I believe I already explained this actually for Virgo, where this is about paying attention to the signals that your subconscious is telling you, paying attention to your intuition. And the moon is a situation where you can, sometimes there's danger. There are things that come out of the shadows that we're afraid can hurt us. The moon could be signaling, hey, pay attention to this, it could hurt you. When it's reversed, it doesn't mean that the danger goes away, but it definitely indicates that we shouldn't be passive about those dangers. We need to acknowledge them. And the very first card, the Temperance card, sort of gave me a heads up that there were things that we needed. This temperate energy was needed in the relationship or the situation, because there were old habits and old fears and old patterns that we needed to address. And I don't see it necessarily as that addiction of giving up alcohol or drugs. That could be a part of it. But I see this Temperance card in the beginning because maybe there was a situation where someone needed to find that emotional balance. But now we're starting to deal with the moon, where there are still fears and dangers. Remember what I said about this Nine of Wands subconsciously? It doesn't mean that those go away, where we're letting our defenses down, but it is a frightening thing to do. Someone needs to acknowledge that they are afraid. They want to have that emotional connection in a relationship. And I don't think necessarily that's you. Maybe it's the other person. But the Nine of Wands and the moon together are telling me that this will still be a little bit of a difficult transition, okay, in the next few weeks. Doesn't mean it can't be done. But it seems like there's a journey here to where someone was hurt, someone really made a lot of mistakes, or there was something previously going on that was really a crash and burn, and that person doesn't want to go through that again. Maybe it's you, maybe it's the other person. But to do that, to really get yourself back to being whole and trusting and loving, it's going to be difficult. But that's what I'm seeing with these last two cards. So now I'm going to shuffle for the outcome card. Oops, a card fell out. Let's see what it is. Whoa. Three of Swords. Libra. Okay, this is important here. The outcome. We're going through a little bit of pain and disappointment. And once again, I'm saying we. And sometimes heartbreak is needed, and we shouldn't be afraid to confront heartbreak or disappointment. Confronting pain, confronting that we've been hurt. And maybe we will get hurt in the future. Especially seeing that we're not paying attention to the energy of the moon. Okay? So the Three of Swords, it's not a great card to see, but it is our element. It is the element Libra. It is an air sign. And there's going to be a shift to where maybe there's a lot of hurt and pain and anger that you're going to confront and deal with here. The moon is going to, we may try to avoid that hurt and pain with the moon in reverse, but when we have the outcome card, this is something that will need to be confronted. Being hurt, someone disappointing us. And maybe this is a person with water energy, someone who's either a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And so I think that all of these things that are going on, especially with this Nine of Cups in the center, maybe it's about not being hurt by this person again. And so the tarot seems to be saying overall, Libra, you still have a few rough spots psychologically and emotionally to deal with. But I think you'll make it through, especially with these two major arcana cards here. I think this Temperance card is still going to be a useful energy for you in the next few weeks. Okay, so that was your reading, Libra. And I will be doing 2017 predictions for the next year in a couple of weeks. I still hope you're enjoying your holiday season. So thank you for all your support and your comments. I always appreciate reading the comments. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in getting your own video, for, those are offered for $20. If there's a specific situation that you would like to have addressed by the tarot, you can get your own personal video. So check out the links in the description. There's a link to my online appointment book. And, check it out. Try it. And I would love to read for you. So take care, and I will talk to you soon.